too difficult. But we are going to lead out now, guys. It's game one here. AZB Blaze versus MVP, as a whole host of potions get brought up there. And alright, just going to rearrange all of these. Oh, there's Lulu. Mundo move there. Just making sure it's all... Yep, there we are. Everyone is aligned in their proper space. And we are going to see the move out now from AZB Blaze here. Our blue team for this first game. These settings, they feel okay. These are fine. Alrighty.
So shall I run down the AZB Blaze lineup we have here?
With pleasure.
See quite a lot of aggressive posturing from Mundo and Zyra. Speaking of Zyra, in the mid we have Ambition. The jungler, the Mundo, who is also looking for those aggressive moves. That's Helios. The AD carry and support, probably the best known of AZB Blaze to Western viewers. That is Captain Jack. Awesome name on AD carry, and Lust Boy on support. And finally, the newest member running Aurelia this game, one of his champions, noted by the ops, is Flame.
Yeah, and that's probably one of the names I'll remember, actually. Which is quite funny.
It's a good name.
Probably because we learnt it recently. Yes, it's also a fantastic ID. Over on the other side, guys, just, you know, I get the English names, because that's how I roll, I guess. In the mid here for MVP, White is Mima going to be playing on Vladimir. Over in the jungle, we've got Dandy's going to be playing Nocturne as he scouts out near his blue buff. The bottom lane here is going to be Imp playing Sivir, and Small Brain the support going to be playing Sona. And last but not least is Hom going to be playing on Cho'Gath, the very nice Jurassic Cho skin. So it looks like we aren't actually having the lane swap that we predicted, unless we've got some sort of, you know, swapception where the AZB Blaze thought they were going to swap bottom.
She thought, we thought.
Yeah. You know, they thought they were going to swap bottom, so they went bottom instead, and it turns out they're actually just going bottom anyway.
Oh, look at this though, Aurelia, really aggressive posturing here, trying to stop I think Cho'Gath was trying to take out the Wraith Cam there to get some experience, and he did get the big one, but going to have to leave a bit of a mangled camp behind for Dandy.
Yeah, and that's really aggressive from Flame early on. Really great game sense as well. In fact, that is with a ward there, to be fair. That was part of the aggressive posturing that we saw early on from AZB Blaze. But really nice little play there from Aurelia. I mean, that's going to give her quite the advantage just early on in this lane as they start things off here in top lane. And as we've noted, Cho vs Aurelia is not particularly fun for Cho unless Cho starts getting ahead. And when we saw this from MVP last game, wow, the aggression from Flame really just wants to harass this Cho as much as possible.
And we might see a meeting of 4 up top, because I think Nocturne and Mundo might both be posturing that way, although Dandy is pulling back.
He's going to finish his Wraith Camp first, but he does have the double buffs. We'll be able to gank it, that key 3-minute timing in the top lane. In fact, Hom doing a nice job here. Great rupture, but a flash out of the way there, and now Mundo coming up there as well from the jungle. That's Helios. Nice cleaver in the back there onto Hom. I don't think Cho'Gath in too much trouble. He does have his flash, and yeah, just a bit of pressure there from Mundo. And now the counter gank's going to come as Dandy comes around the back on Nocturne.
He hasn't been spotted by a ward.
No, so fireworks are going to ensue here. And Mundo, yeah, they know he's in there as well. They want to try and cut him off. There's the cleaver coming out, the unspeakable horror there as well for the fear. The spell shield there, the rupture's good as well onto Flame. And this could be the first blood here for MVP, and there it is. But Hom is going to go down as well. So one for Dandy, then Mundo gets the counter one. But he will flash out of the way there, and a bit unusual there for Helios in the jungle on Mundo. But hey, it saved his life. That's for sure.
And he forced them to face check, so he got a little bit extra damage output there, Helios, by forcing Dandy to face check that brush, and maybe that was the difference between it being a 2-0 and a 1-1 in the end.
Yeah, I mean, it's a kind of a cute little play. You know, it's not something that is immediately obvious, but it gives a small advantage here. And without that, maybe they wouldn't have gotten the trade. I mean, yes, Dandy did get first blood, so I think overall MVP come out a little bit happier than AZB Blaze, but certainly that could have been a lot worse. Nocturne's timing was really nice there as he came in, and I think AZB played it right. You know, they recognized one of us has to die, we're going to get one kill, that's fine. And they happily made that trade there.
And anyone who's been, you know, juked by Vision just aggressively once or twice or 3 times in one engage, that you just learn very quickly how important controlling Vision is in this game, and I just have to commend Helios for playing very smartly there.
Yeah, just one little thing that really changed a lot of how top lane could have been there. So nice little thing to kick us off here. 2 quick kills here in 4.5 minutes as we go round to mid lane now. We see Mima's used one of his potions. Zyra on the other hand, one as well. That's, of course, Ambition in the mid. That's a great name as well. I think these guys have good enough names. We'll probably won't have too much trouble remembering them. But right now, in terms of CS, sorry with a slight advantage, but, you know, 2 or 3 CS between them isn't a whole lot. So, I don't know. I kind of expect that matchup to go, actually be pretty even, I think. Vlad does quite a good job being aggressive in mid, which is surprising because in top it's basically the complete opposite, and Zyra's not bad as well in terms of trading, so I think it's mostly a skill matchup in mid. Although I think Vlad may get a little bit out of control if his farm gets a whole lot better and the laning phase gets extended, but we'll have to see.
The thing about Vladimir is you can just build that much more aggressively. Like, you kind of have to build emergency items in some top lane matchups as Vlad against a Bruiser. Oh, as we see, very aggressive posturing by Helios here.
He's very sneaky all the way into this front push here, and you can see Flame just aggressively here taking out the minions with the Blade Surge.
Flame doesn't have his flash up here.
No, he's not.
So much patience.
He's not biting. He's just freezing this lane. That's really smart. But there's the cleaver. All right, now they go in the slow there with the Equilibrium Strike, and a great rupture there from Cho, but the Blade Surge back in from Flame. And that Feral Scream could be the difference there. So much damage from that tower. And Nocturne around the back as well as Dandy comes in. Hom face checks it back up again, but a beautiful rupture there to just get out of the way. And there's a free kill on Mundo, just baiting himself back and forth. And now I think wants a little bit more the Blade Surge. What a great Feral Scream from Hom! And Dandy cleans up a second straight kill there in the top lane. And oh
you gotta
my.
say, that was some clinical play from Hom there. We saw his aggressive choreograph yesterday where he just didn't give anything about anything. He didn't have a care in the world as choreographing against Aurelia yesterday, and there we just see him hitting two very important ruptures and that just an amazing scream there just to stop the Blade Surge from Aurelia. And wow, MVP White taking nice early advantage.
Yeah, and I think after that and after what we saw of him yesterday on Cho'Gath, I think we may have to re-ID him to Trollgath, because that was just wow. That was quite clutch, shall we say. Very, very nice play there in the top lane, and exactly what happened yesterday when MVP White had this exact matchup. Dandy, with a bit of early pressure, was able to help capitalize on that lane, and now all 3 kills, in fact, have gone on to Nocturne, who is certainly a jungler that is capable of some pretty interesting things when he gets going in terms of snowballs. So, I mean, Nocturne often was kind of falling out of favor because of being aggressive. Down the bottom, a very quick ult they gained from Dandy, and that's an easy cleanup onto Captain Jack and onto Lulu. So all those quick kills as a Cathian surprise almost kills Small Brain.
Snowball has begun.
Yes, and that was a very fast 6 there for Nocturne. And that...
It's one of those situations where, you know, someone could take a step back and say, wow, Kog'Maw and Lulu are playing very aggressively, but you should not expect Nocturne to be level 6 before the 7-minute mark. And look, Cho'Gath bossing around Aurelia up top. She's dead.
Yeah, Hom again cleans up yet another kill there. Just landing more perfect ruptures there, doing plenty of damage. And just those Vorpal spikes really helping him trade there. I mean, he's got Heart of Gold Ninja Tabi up already, and now he's proxying behind this top turret. So, wow, really sticking it to Aurelia right now. In fact, he's going to be 20 CS ahead when Aurelia gets back to lane, or possibly even a bit more. So, things looking really nice there for Cho, and we say this a lot about Cho, both when we see him as a jungler and just in lane, but Cho'Gath has fantastic setup CC. If you want to gank somebody, having a Cho'Gath in the mix, whether he's in the lane you're ganking or is the jungler that's ganking for you, if you can set up for Cho, his follow-up is absolutely incredible. And I think we've seen that twice now with Nocturne coming in and applying the pressure.
Cho has been caught here trying to take blue buff.
Yeah, very sneaky. They're using that feast aggressively, but now the rupture will happen there, and I think the flash out from Mundo was that? Looks like it. Yeah, Hom still has his up, and Dandy now actually aggresses Zyra out of the way, and Vladimir's around the back here as well, so Maima's going to pick that kill up. The passive damage here is a lot, and that is going to be the kill there as the plank gets the last word. Although I think
so much damage coming out after Zyra was effectively dead. That was about 500 damage worth just from those dying spells she casted.
To be fair, I think Ignite was going to do it there as well, but yeah, nice little trade there, and Maima with a good little roam there to try and help secure this blue buff, does manage to trade there, but there's the smite and there's the feast. So Dandy there with a nice one, and down the bottom looks like Small Brain in a little bit of trouble here on Sonar, taking a lot of damage right now. In fact, the bottom lane currently 68 to 49 CS. You know,
and remember, that's with a double kill going down this lane for MVP.
Yeah, I mean, if we tab over to the gold, it's probably going to be quite even, but yeah, it is dead even, in fact, in gold, and they're pretty happy that those kills happen in bottom lane right now, otherwise, Kog'Maw's advantage here could be even bigger, but the fact that after that double kill, Kog'Maw's keeping up in CS, I mean, Captain Jack, what can we say? He is just one of the best AD carries in the world.
And they're just showing no respect to Dandy, even though they, you know, felt the full force of just how strong Dandy was going in this game. I did call Nocturne's strength as being one of the key determinants of how this game goes, and man, if he hasn't had a start to snowball his way towards that strong, aggressive, tanky damage Nocturne they need.
He is looking good, that's for sure. I do like the little build here he's gone though. He's got Madrid's Razors there for a little bit of jungle clearing help. And a quick Berserker Reaves actually helps with the aggression that he wants to do and helps him clear a little bit faster as well. So it's a nice little style choice. You'll probably see him sell it come, you know, late game for something like Merc Treads or Ninja Tabi, depending on what he thinks he needs. But, you know, for now, early on when he's trying to get his snowball on, try and be a bit more aggressive, Berserker Reaves is a great little choice, and it's a nice tweak that I first saw in the Asian scene when I first started casting.
It's just so cost effective. You're paying so little for the actual attack speed, the 10% attack speed you get from it. You're paying 150 gold for both 10% attack speed and the boots to move speed. So you're right, it's a nice early pickup. Oh, as we see them duoing Dragon very easily here.
Yeah, I saw Homie just kind of made his way down here. I was like, oh, someone's a Dragon. Oh, it's Cho'Gath. Oh, wow, that's an absolutely ridiculous buff-taking combo. And there it is. Wow! Taken fast enough that Mundo legitimately warded it after it was already done. Wow, such a fast Dragon there, and that's another thing that Cho'Gath brings to the table. I mean, we said he's a very versatile champion. I think he's showing a lot of his different colors here. You know, able to roam down, help Dragon, able to help set up CC with ganks, and just really bait people into getting themselves killed. And looking really, really nice right now with double GP10 up already by the 10.5 minute mark. Hom is just... he's on a tear right now. Still ahead of Aurelia in CS as well, despite the roam. And will definitely be up in Global Gold as well with that early Dragon. Looks like the gank here, though, will be spotted out, I think. I believe that the bottom lane knows. Oh, they'll know pretty soon as well. No, never mind. Pommel gets way too overextended there, and Captain Jack with the crescendo into Nocturne ult there is going to pick him off. And now Lulu, is he going to go down as well? Lost Boy could be in a little bit of trouble. There's a great Q from Sivir.
No flash or exhaust there. Lost Boy, you are dead.
He was very dead, yes. And, you know, rightfully recognized that that was the case. Decided not to blow any of his summoners. But, jeez, AZB Blaze, you know, a premier team from Korea, but MVP White, they are having just an incredible first 12 minutes here in this game. And it looks like they're going to take out the first tower here as well. Sivir certainly no slouches in the pushing department. Going to be able to do quite a bit of damage to both the tower and these minion waves. And catching up in CS, which is nice for Sivir, because Captain Jack certainly is last hitting better than Imp at this point. Which is, I think,
they're trying to solo Cho'Gath up top, despite being 2 levels behind.
Not what you want to be doing, Hom. Oh, it's very...
no feast available.
Yes, and I think Flame must have known that as well. Because if there was a feast there, I think that would have been a quickly dead Aurelia. It's coming up soon, though. In fact, he's got it now. There's the Feral Scream. Flash Feast, almost! Flash out there from Aurelia. Just a bit unfortunate there on the damage calculation. Not quite
Elio's
enough
trying to make up for the fact that he just doesn't have quite the same presence in Nocturne with the oracles here.
Yeah, nice little quick oracles here from Mundo. Clearing out the jungle. Very raw oracles, though. So if he gets killed, which with these items may not be that difficult.
He does have flash though, not quite as aggressive with the exhaust. So flash up, boots 2, a Doran shield, a fairly tanky champion to begin with. Not too risky for Mundo.
He's got his ult up as well. Like, you know, if he was level 5 for some reason, then maybe I'd think a little bit more against it. But yeah, certainly having that ultimate available as well, being level 7, it's quite useful there for him. So I like what's going on for Mundo right now. He's just, you know, he's got to make his presence a bit more known. I mean, Dandy has already shown almost all these lanes, I guess with mid excluded, that, you know, he is someone to be afraid of right now. And sadly,
leading in gold as well on the map, which for a jungler, you know, with that score, it makes a lot of sense, but very impressive work from Dandy here. There were people talking about how much they thought of Dandy in the chat, and he's not letting them down this game.
No, looking very, very strong here. Looks like the bottom tower did go down as well there for AZB Blaze, so that's going to be, actually, wow, they didn't take the tower down in bottom lane when they had the chance. Interestingly, Sivir actually decided to let them live. I can't imagine it's going to last for too long, but AZB Blaze actually get the first turret of this game, which is not what I thought was going to happen as we were looking at how things were panning out, but I think they're going to get it pretty soon here. In fact, they'll probably get it in this wave. And there we are. Yeah, Imp even activates his ultimate just to make sure it goes down. So there we are. Interestingly, before the Wriggles was finished for Dandy, he actually got a Phage first. Do you think he's building into Mallet, or are we going to see the Trinity Force come back? It's been a
yesterday,
very long
you'll
time.
remember, it was the triple GP10, Phage, Wits End Mallet, was it? And a Thornmail, and that was his core build.
I think that was Hom's build on show.
Oh, that's right,
Zyra. Yeah, Zyra's in a bit of trouble here. No fear length there for Dandy, though, unfortunately. But this blue's taking a lot of damage. Nocturne, sorry. Oh, never mind, we're going to have a fight break out. Zara in a lot of trouble. Wild growth there from Lulu. The damage there from the ult. Very good there. And will pick off Dandy. But a nice crescendo there from Smallbrain as he rotates up. And now Sivir coming in as well. Captain Jack in a little bit of trouble. Hom needs to land the Rupture, and he does, but no real follow-up available, unfortunately. And a lot of members here quite low on both sides. Mame there almost getting picked off there by the plants, but does manage to flash out of the way. And at the end of it all, only Nocturne the kill there, as Zara used a lot of the burst there as Dandy went in, and he is going to go down there. But
a big gold bounty though on Dandy, so a nice pickup there.
Yeah, nice little chemistry, but so Nocturne is who I was referring to. He's gone Wriggles Phage.
It could be Mallet. I don't think Trinity Force Nocturne is a thing anymore. Mallet's a pretty good item on Nocturne, just to have that constant CC. Or you could just leave it at Phage. I mean,
oh
wow, Mama takes a lot of damage in the trade of those Sonas.
Oh wow, that's really nice. Sona comes in as well.
That's Sona burst.
And that was quite the bait there. Mima almost got himself killed just trying to farm the enemy Blue Wraith. And yeah, Small Brain just coming in there with a ton of power core damage, able to help clean it up there. So Vladimir, you know, he feels pretty good about that. You thought I was getting baited? Nah, you were getting baited.
On any sort of melee DPS though, if you pick up that fade, you know you're getting exactly what you got paid for and more. It's such an amazing item.
Yeah, one of those things that may be too cost efficient even.
I think Zyphorus was talking about it. Someone was saying you should change Phage or buff Phage, and he was like, are you serious? Phage is a pretty legit item.
It's not bad. And there's top tower going down as well. So AZB Blaze kind of living up to the reputation of pushing here. Now two towers to one early up here, but there's the second tower in mid going to go down. So MVP quick to even that up, and gold lead right now 5,000 ahead for MVP early on in this game. Certainly not too bad as we approach the 16-minute mark. 10 to 3 the kill score in their favor as well. But you know, AZB Blaze certainly not out of it. Keeping up right now. Looks like Aurelius is trying to find a bit of farm. Home with those sniper ruptures though. Just finding every single time he needs to.
Brock.
No Phage there, and a nice equilibrium strike stun as well there onto Cho'Gath. So Flame's going to be okay this time around. Sivir right now, it's gone back up to top lane, so Imp wants to farm. BF Sword plus Vamp Scepter with a few extra early game items there as well. Utility up, Doran's play, and Berserker Greaves there as well up for Sivir on the Captain Jack side. Kog'Maw. Kog'Maw's got himself a Phantom Dancer up already. That's a pretty nice timing on that item. Looks like Dragon's going to get forced here as well by MVP, but they don't really have everybody. But Vlad and Turner are coming in there. There's the Hemo play. Nocturne dives in there as well, and they know Captain Jack's down near the bottom lane. So Wild Growth on Desire is going to let her live for just a little bit longer. In fact, is it going to be enough? The Flash Rupture from Hom comes out, and that's going to be a feast there for Cho'Gath. Very happy to clean that up. But this is a nice position right now as Flame picks up Nocturne in there as well.
Jack here is a scary thing.
Yeah, Cog's in a good spot. There's a crescendo from Sona. Lulu's so low. Snipes Sona off there as well. Now Mimi, I think, is going to go down here trying to sustain his Vlad, but it's not going to be enough there as auto attacks and Burning Agony from Mundo clean him up. And despite a decent start there and a good kill onto Zyra, I think MVP extended themselves a little bit too far into the enemy jungle, and actually
Siva was not there though, and he's going to get a turret down here. Probably will pay for it with a life with no mana here. I think Flame is going to go straight onto this.
Yeah, I mean, Siva's going to do what she can to try running, but yeah, no mana, just no ultimate. Does have a flash, maybe he's going to get out of this, although mid tower is going down as well.
10 movement speed is the difference here.
Alright, so we'll see. The race is on. Imp, oh man, this brush. There we are, nice ward there, but a flash out actually, and Flame, yep. Use his gap closer, nice play there from Imp.
And no Phage available from Aurelia.
No, and Imp realized, you know what, with no Phage and no gap closer available, I'm able to flash out and get out of this. So, does use a flash there, certainly not a waste of time completely there for Flame, but not able to secure the kill sadly, and back on the Dragon alley for MVP. It's time for seconds here. Had a very early Dragon just kick things off, and they're going to try and get this one as well, though we are going to start another fight here, it seems like. Are they going to be able to finish this? There's the feast for Cho, so they pick it off, but Hom actually gets polymorphed and then Grasping Roots. And that's a lot of damage coming out there as Cog picks himself up a kill. Around the back there we can see Dandy trying to use the spell shield there, but it could be a bait. There's the Silver Ultimate coming out as well. The spell shield comes out, I'm sorry. And Captain Jack kind of getting caught out here. Very aggressive Sanguine pull forward there for Mima. But I think AZB Blaze are actually kiting themselves out of this. And Captain Jack's range, Small Brain gets caught there. Don't know what he was looking for there. But no.
He turned around, that was very strange. Maybe it was just to secure everyone else's safe exit.
Could have been. But it's going to be a blue buff as well as that free kill there for AZB Blaze. And, you know, despite definitely being down in the early stages of the landing phase, AZB Blaze looking a lot better when a lot of these skirmishes, a lot of these team fights have started.
And it's Airhawk40 in the chat saying, wow, I actually don't understand how Blaze is doing so much damage in these team fights. The key things to realize here, there is that Phantom Dancer completed on Kog'Maw, so obviously his natural damage with W very high, but this Magic Penetration build from Ambition in the mid lane here on Zyra, her plants with Magic Pen do a lot of damage, and it's Zyra and Kog'Maw who are really taking the damage lead in these fights for AZB Blaze.
Yeah, and they've just positioned themselves so well as well. I mean, not only do they have the damage, but they've set up a lot of these skirmishes, a lot of these fights really nicely, and even it back up. A nice gold lead ahead as we see Nocturne coming in the top lane now. Mundo could be in a little bit of trouble. There's the fear. Very nice flash there, well and truly out of the way. Despite Dustbringer chasing him off there, so Helos is going to be okay for now. And now Blue Buff gets picked up for Zyra, so a bit overextended there from Mundo, but he gets out of the way. Has to use his flash shot to use it. Again, a little bit happier to be overextending and be a bit more aggressive in his play because he does have flash available to him. As you said, Smithy, no super aggressive exhaust this time around. Hom down the bottom lane now. Has some interesting items. He's got Phage double GP10, and he's now
has been punished a bit for the last 5 minutes or so, dying twice, but this gold potent's ticking.
Yep, he's got a Negatron Cloak and a Glacial Shroud. So building lots of different potential items here. I guess
no Wit's End this time.
No Wit's End, no. I think we are going to see Frozen Heart, most likely, and probably Abyssal Scepter from that Negatron cloak. So, you know, just, you know, your standard...
They do have an Abyssal already, so it might just be a Force of Nature because of Cho'Gath's naturally high health ball, meaning that Force of Nature, not a bad choice on Cho'Gath.
Yeah, just kind of bring him into that, you know, main tank, super tanky kind of range. Not a bad idea either. Certainly, Cho'Gath's ability to make himself get bigger actually with Feast gets pretty annoying in fights. He can block a lot of skill shots
it's
really
hard
easily.
to click on some of those little champions.
And yes, it can be hard to click on them, which, you know, sounds like it shouldn't be a thing, but it definitely can be a factor. So, you know...
And completely intentional.
Yes, completely intentional. Cho'Gath now gets in the way of Flame. That actually ignites him, really wants to try and secure this kill. Does have Feast up, but no more Rupture, I don't think. No. Hom just keeps gnawing away at those minions, collecting more CS. Aurelia's still behind, but Flame has been catching up here, CSing the minions as much as she can. So not doing too badly right now. But yeah, Hom, I guess, is building into more of a tank here. Nocturne's kind of got the bruiser roll covered. So I guess Cho'Gath just wants to soak up as much damage as he can. I mean, he's still doing a decent amount of damage at the moment, so it's gonna be okay for now. Wouldn't be surprised to see one damage item though on him at some point in the game if it goes a little bit.
To be honest, with those GP10, he's pretty much picked up the most cost-effective items for every role he needed. He needs some magic resist. He wanted a bit of armor and CDR, and he wanted that, you know, the phage and the slow it provides. And to be honest, no bloated items there. He's definitely using his gold wisely so far.
Yes, and he finishes up the Frozen Heart there as well as he goes back to base. So, gonna make Kog'Maw's life a little bit harder. Very nice to have a debuff against Kog'Maw that slows his attack.
It looks
speed.
like Nocturne. I mean, there's only one item you have to expect when you see a Chain Vest and a Null Magic Mantle. If they're building into one item, it's going to be that Guardian Angel.
Yeah, and that's interesting not to see an early Aegis actually from either team. No one really has the components building towards it, so kind of interesting. That was another thing that AZB players kind of showed the world as well when they first burst onto the Western scene at least, or the international scene. But certainly the power of aura items. But no Aegis to be seen on either of these squads right now. So it's going to make team fights, you know, a little bit fairer, I guess. No one's going to have the Aegis advantage, which, you know, although small and fairly invisible, is most definitely very important.
And paired with that quick turret pushing, I mean, AZB Blaze's other core card was the auras, and they currently have none.
To be fair, maybe Small Brand's going to pick it up. He's actually got most of the items there for it. No, needs
it looks like a Zeke's is coming from Last Boy. Very
nice. Do love me some Zeke's. Again, when we see a lot of these hyper carries like Kog'Maw and Vayne, we often see Zeke's Nunu, I guess. Nunu Vayne or Nunu Cog has been a very popular late game hyper carry type lane. And just buffing that attack speed, giving free stats. I mean, auras are great. Free stats are great. And so no surprise to see that the quick Zeke's rush there from Lulu to help out that Kog'Maw. But for the same reason, that's why we're seeing this quick Frozen Heart and probably a fast Randy wins as well, I would imagine, on the MVP side, because you really want to try and hit that attack speed as hard as you can with these hyper carries. Because that's a lot of where their damage comes from, especially because both Cog and Vayne that we mentioned get scaling off their true and/or magic damage, depending on which one you're talking about, from their respective Ws. So,
Cog right now about 1,000 gold away from being just a quintessential damage dealer with that Phantom Dancer Infinity Edge combo. Still needs about 1,000 gold to get there, and I think that's one they'll try and group and force fights and hope that they have the resources to keep him alive.
And that's kind of Kog'Maw's. That's his go, right? That's his green light. Well, as soon as he gets those two items, you know, if he's got decent timing on them, he's not too far behind, you're good to go. As the Kog'Maw team. So you can see Captain Jack wandering down now, looking for a little bit more CS, going to take out the golems. I mean, a lot of this has meant that AZB players haven't really been able to pressure the map all that well. We can see an Oracle's up now for Sona as well. Mundo still has his, by the way. I don't think he's died since he's bought it. Although I could be wrong, I think he may have rebought that actually. But so there's a decent amount of war division for both teams right now, but AZB just really don't want to group until Kog'Maw's items are ready, and MVP, you know, they're getting more dragons out of this. They're able to force fights before Kog'Maw gets going, although he's coming now with his team. Still going to be doing plenty of damage with the items they've got, just not nearly the super amount of damage. Small Brain really wants to make a clutch play here. There's a great crescendo, but he just misses! And that was a bit unfortunate. The rest of the fight will break out, though. Great damage there from Zara. A huge knock up there as well as the damage, and the Hemoplague has gone out, but Flame now is jumping on everybody else. And that's so many kills there, but Vlad in the mix as well gets a triple. And now Imp is chasing down Captain Jack. It's going to be close. He's going to go down likely to the passive though. Never mind, Flame actually cleans it up instead. And when the dust settles, that's 4-3. No, never mind, it's not over. Vlad with one more kill though. I think he picked up a delayed Quadra in that fight. And Mima just did stupid amounts of damage there, and that's the ace. That was a...
It looked like that was going to be a terrible fight for MVP because Zyra hit everything on the The AoE there was perfectly lined up, and Kog'Maw for most of the fight was free hitting, but funnily enough, the anti-carry that fight, the person who got in Kog'Maw's face was Sivir. Sivir, unbelievably, the enemy AD carry, sacrificed her own position just to get there and duel Kog, and it was a very, very close battle, and her extra gold probably proved the tipping balance, but that can't be how fights go next time. MVP will take this, they get the dragon, they get the kill lead, but a bit of a worrying sign that their plan to anti-carry didn't really work out, probably because of that kind of jungle choke point they fought in.
Yeah, that was a bizarre team fight to watch, especially after that first crescendo miss from Sona. And it was close as well. Their hitbox looked a little bit off. I mean, I don't think it hits quite on the edges of the ultimate there from what it looked like. So, yeah.
And it has that travel time that sometimes trolls people when they try and use it max range.
Does have quite the cast time as well. Surprisingly slow missile, actually. From what it looks like.
If it is an instant, that'd be really
yes, that would be bad.
A lot to deal with.
I mean, instant damage is pretty good. Instant stuns are better though, and man,
that's why Zyra's good, because they're all instant. Yeah,
it did a lot of damage. Poor Small Brain there, just kind of got caught up there in the ult. Basically got eaten just by Zyra's burst alone, and that's a Rabadon's now up as well as that Horning guys, so lots and lots of damage for Zyra. In fact, almost full damage mode right now.
Whereas Vlad taking the tanky damage route of the Abyssal Scepter, the Zhonya's, because Zhonya's on Vlad is just so much fun to pull in, use your cooldowns, Zhonya's, and if you Zhonya's at the right time, because of course you don't get Spell Vamp back from your ultimate if you are untargetable, so if you time everything right, come back to life with the Spell Vamp from the ult, and yeah, it's very potent, and it looks like the death cap coming up as well, so this Vlad gonna be really, really strong shortly.
Yeah, and I think that's part of what, Maima's just quietly, been farming up quite a storm here. He got a quadra in that last team fight. He was, I mean, we said Sivir, yeah, she activated her ult, she really got in the face of Kog'Maw to help it out, but having, as we said, the dive team of Nocturne and Vlad there really helped out, and Vlad just did a stupid amount of damage in that last team fight, and it's gonna get worse if he continues to get kills. He's 7-2-2. I guess he was 3-2 before, but yeah, he's doing quite a lot of damage. 10,000 gold, actually for a lot of these guys, although the 3 different solos here for MVP have over 10,000 gold, and no one has quite cracked the 9,000 mark yet, although Captain Jack's getting close for Zibu Blaze, so still a decent gold lead here for MVP.
He still has his Infinity Edge Phantom Dancer, so this is where he starts to go off in terms of just being really uncontrollable damage if he's left to free hit.
Yeah, and again, we'll have to see if the Zibu Blaze can protect their Kog'Maw. We've had a lot of just messy team fights, I'd say. I mean, the first early ones, the skirmishes in particular, looked really good for Zibu Blaze. They really played their cards right for that one. But that last one, the Dragon, was just craziness, utter craziness. So we'll see right now. They're clearly feeling quite confident, as all 5 of them are actually going to push down here in the mid lane. Cho'Gath is rotating back. I guess we're going to have Nocturne come back soon as well, we'd imagine. But lots of pressure here. Kog'Maw's pretty good in the siege with that long range and that poke from Living Artillery, so just gonna, slowly but surely try and whittle down some of this tower damage. I'm actually getting quite deep there.
A lot of free damage here.
Yeah, not good news. And there's Living Artillery back down to about a 3rd health right now.
He won't die, but they will have to get this turret up. They will not have Cho'Gath. It's up to the wave clear of Vlad and Nocturne and Sivir to get this turret up.
Yeah, Hum's actually recalling already, so he knows what he needs to do. He knows he needs more help. Picks up a red pot for himself as well. I think recognizes this is quite a crucial moment for both these teams. I mean,
while he had some health there, you're kind of baiting your team if you're a tank with low health, because you don't have the presence that the tank should have.
Yes. And you need to be able to soak up as much damage as you can. Dandy goes straight onto Captain Jack. Crescendo just going to miss there, but gets Mundo. But that's Hemoplague flashing forward though, but not quite ready. There's lots of good kiting here from Azubu. And I don't think no one somehow miraculously is dead. Small Brain is very low, and so is Mundo there, being played by Helios.
When MVP tried to disengage there, they faced the problem of Kog'Maw with that Living Artillery range up has the longest range of any AD carry in the game, and he has the items to match, and they cannot afford to disengage without getting super chunked by that little Kog'Maw.
Yeah, Biochembarrage is doing so much work there, and that's kind of why you pick Kog'Maw, and why Captain Jack is causing quite a few problems right now with his current items. And what is this?
This is crazy.
This is crazy. It's aggression.
They're going to know about it very shortly.
I mean, they are forcing Baron. Earlier, he's going to get caught here by Hom.
Very low. They are feeling off it though. But Nocturne is in no position to fight here.
And he's got no ult left either, so he can't help join this fight. MVP, maybe they should have finished Baron. Didn't quite have Cho'Gath for the feast, but there's the slow. And there is as well. Lulu actually gets the last bit of damage, I think, from Pix. Mundo going to attack a lot here as well. And there's Maima. We'll pick up that kill. Can he get more? Lulu's in face range. Going to get down to Vlad. Great Zhonya's there as well to dodge any more damage. and Flame cannot quite make a thing of this.
And just like when he was on Ziggs last time we saw him, Maimo, very, very impressive play. He does not lose his cool, even when things look like they're turning against his team.
Yeah, that looked almost like a genius Baron actually from MVP, but didn't quite have everyone there ready to take it.
In hindsight, with global vision, they probably could have finished it, but
yeah,
you just don't take those risks, especially when you're ostensibly in the lead.
That's fair. I mean, really, that Baron force actually got them a few kills, so they traded up. I mean, they don't want to do that forever because they want to kind of keep their gold lead and stretch it, make that divide as large as they can between the two teams, but certainly that wasn't the worst thing that AZB Blaze could have done. MVP. It looked a little crazy when we saw it, but it worked out in the end there, as MVP trade up there with a few kills around the Baron area.
Still so finely poised. 30 minutes in, about a 6k gold lead for MVP with the gold on Kog'Maw. That gold lead, I mean, it's not that important really, and it's very, very finely poised at this point. Although the Nocturne GA pickup, he can really dive in hard now, as long as he doesn't get too separated from his team.
Yeah, and there's the Aegis coming out as well for Nocturne, so answering my where is the Aegis question from before. Dandy
double Aegis as well. Sona has it for the back line, whereas Nocturne will have it for the front line.
Perfect. And, you know, making Nocturne a little bit tankier as a result as well. You know, Sona kind of the ultimate aura champion. So, makes a little bit of sense to have that double aura. In fact, if you're going to stack any of them, Aegis is probably the best one to stack. The rest of them aren't so hot when you try and stack
The famous point is it's cost effective for yourself, so if it's going to give some benefits with the aura too, you're not doing anything wrong picking it up.
No, not at all. And double Aegis is the call here. Nocturne very tanky as a result, actually.
How far is Vlad away from that death cap? Oh no, he's got the gold now. He just wants to and that is he is going to have a massive chunk of AP, about 500 AP and about 2,800 health. He's they want to stop him backing. They don't know it, but it's going to be a very strong Vladimir returning to the fight.
Mine are going back now as well. And there we are. There's the death cap up. How much AP, Vladimir? Oh, goodness. 486. Plenty. And a Hextech Revolver.
And 2,700 health. That passive contributing 678 health.
Wow. And Vlad...
Synergy.
Yeah. Those are... That double
and he's got the resist too. Let's not forget pastry time.
All them. Yeah. Those good tanky items plus the Aegis as well. Quite the bruiser right now. Vlad, a very scary thing. And I think Nocturne Vlad right now, as you kind of mentioned in the draft,
now
Smithy,
they're finally at that pressure. Like, this is where they needed to get. And if Nocturne hadn't had that start, it would have taken him, you know, maybe 10 minutes more. Maybe he would never have gotten to this point. But they actually now are very scary dive buddy combo.
And they are, I think, going to try and force more objectives as a result. I mean, MVP have kind of recognized the advantage I've had all this game. But now
Nocturne is away from his team, but of course has that global, so not too worrying.
Does have paranoia this time around.
Oh. Takes free damage.
Yep, spell shield sadly does not work against Bioarcane Barrage. Probably expecting a Voidus. So yeah, just MVP really have to, they still have to initiate correctly here. And there it is, there's the flash crescendo, but it's on to Mundo. But Dandy going all the way in there and he's taking so much free damage. It's gone a little bit too far there and the GA is going to get pop-up. Mima picks up Zyra, they're doing so much damage. Mundo goes down as well there to Vladimir.
Oh, more free hitting this whole time.
Oh, what a great Zhonya's. I think Mima is still dead though, and there we go. Aurelia picks out a kill and 600 gold as well. Such a bounty.
1 second off cooldown. Someone's gonna die.
Yeah, Captain Jack is still looking to close his team fight out for his team. There's a good rupture. He flashes out of the way as well. And Hom, he does feast on the Lulu when he flashes out, but Imp is now on there as well. And that's a great pickup there for MVP. Very aggressive play there from Sivir. And that's going to be the last kill there. And when the dust settles, 5 for 1 goes to MVP White.
And I had the camera framed on Kog'Maw the whole time because I knew he was the tipping point there. And Captain Jack, as is his calling card, we've all seen the clip where he flashed and cleansed perfectly. He played that as perfectly as he could, and look at the results. Still a 5-1 exchange for MVP White.
Yeah, and those dive buddies, that Vladimir show, and Nocturne area as well. I mean, Nocturne basically used his GA there to help reposition his team and get a little bit of damage done, but it worked out there. And yeah, Mima he plowed through the front line of AZB Blaze, and then immediately just kept walking forward and plowed through the back as well. And that's the bit of play. They actually waited long enough to get Mima the... So I think it was it Nocturne that was dead? No, it was Mima who died there. But he gets Baron buff as well.
The big thing about this game is what will MVP do with this Baron buff? If they can translate it into an inhibitor or two, I think they're set to win. But if Blaze can hold out, I mean, they have the late game. You have to think with Kog'Maw, Zyra, Mundo, Aurelia, Lulu, all fantastic late game champions. And it's not like MVP doesn't have late game at all. I mean, Sivir compared to Kog'Maw is probably the only huge discrepancy here. But man, that really late game Kog'Maw, when everyone on their team actually has the gold to be able to perform their roles. Like Mundo here, 8,000 gold compared to 11,400 on Nocturne. If Mundo has 11,000 gold, if they close that gold gap, it could be a different fight.
It really could, and you know, we'll have Super Tank Mundo there to protect his Kog'Maw. You know, we'll have Aurelia who's just dishing out so much damage. She does have Trinity Force GA up, so certainly Flame is not doing too poorly.
Working on Aranduins.
Yeah, working on Aranduins. Very important.
Double Aranduins they'll have, since Mundo already has one.
Yeah, that's nice actually. Affects Cho, Sivir, and Nocturne all quite nicely. In fact, I believe everyone, because Sivir's ult gives attack speed, if I remember.
Yeah, there's everyone auto-attacking except, you know, Vlad could take or leave the auto-attacks. Everyone else doing plenty of auto-attacking.
Yeah, man, you gotta watch out for the Sonar Deeps. It's pretty brutal.
Those Sonar Deeps.
Hey, Small Brain has demonstrated the power of Sonar Deeps already. I mean,
we have seen carry Sonar.
Oh no, Flame. He does get dive on there, the rough try. Don't think it hit, but...
Look, he'll take a lot of blame for that, but that ward was the big king right there.
Yeah, and that's the benefit of having as much vision as you can afford. MVP there.
75 gold for map hack, Space Tree Sam.
Yeah, it's pretty good, if you put it that way. And this is going to be, I think, this inhibitor turret for MVP.
Oh,
they're happy to dive here. There's a great crescendo onto Zyra. Before she can cast a spell, cleans everybody up there, and Hom is fishing for a rupture onto Kog'Maw. This tower as well is going to take so much damage.
And if you look at how Hom's playing, he's willing to die to hit a rupture on Kog'Maw here.
And rightly so. There's mid inhibitor going down. I mean, you do what you've got to do. You're kind of, you know, the initiator and the tank for your team in a lot of ways as Cho'Gath. So Hom does exactly what he needs to do. He soaks up as much damage as he has to.
Scary team is one that knows their roles in team fights, Space Tree Time.
Yes.
If Kog'Maw gets slowed and doesn't have the flash or the summoners up necessary to save him, Cho'Gath's done his job.
He has. And right now, more pressure. There's Sivir coming out. So that's going to be a lot of damage here into this turret. Flame is back though. Hom again just diving straight in there. Once that Kog'Maw knows how important it is. And they will get the tower. MVP. Yeah, they don't need to go too deep. They know. Let's scare them off enough there.
They'll take it.
They will take it. And there's that inhibitor as well.
Having to heal, having to move back, that's enough for them. That will force the objectives. They will ostensibly win them the game.
And MVP doing exactly what they need to do with this Baron.
And we said the par score with this Baron was 2 inhibitors. Massive success.
Yes, they're on par. And they've even got a little bit of Baron buff left. Not too much though. But yes, they've got to be sitting on quite a nice chunk of change there. As it looks like Imp is going to pick up Dragon for himself here now as well. For the rest of his team as well, I guess. But pretty easy solo, 38 minutes into the game, especially with these items on Sivir. And I think it's actually going to see both GA and QSS here from Sivir. Really just wants to make sure she can be as mobile as possible with her passive in her ultimate. But that's not something
interesting to see the QSS over, you know, Infinity Edge. That's the only item missing from her build. Yeah. Although she sold it, maybe it will be. No, look, it was just the cost-effective magic resist. Now she feels like the BF sold into Infinity Edge is the right pickup.
Yeah, and you know, we'll never really know if Imp was planning on building a QSS or if he just needed it, you know, just had it and was like, yeah, I need this for now. I might build into QSS, but either way, you know, constantly reevaluating what items you need and when you need them is very, very smart. A lot of good players, you know, what's the right situation, what's the right time.
Perfectly happy with his Zerka Greaves.
I was gonna say, yeah, he hasn't changed those yet, but nah, I don't think it matters too much. He's pretty tanky.
To be honest, I mean, he could pick up the dodge boots, but it's probably pretty negligible, the difference between the two.
Yeah, I think he'd almost rather just, you know, if he's got Frozen Mallet,
there's not much
proc it a
CC
bit
on
more.
the enemy team.
That is true.
The cleave is annoying, Lulu's slow is annoying, but I mean, if he's in the range or anything else, he's already dived on the carry, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's really only Zyra and I guess Lulu's ultimate that have any sort of real engage or disengage qualities for AZB Blaze, and that's part of the reason they're struggling a little bit in these team fights. They just can't quite kite enough for their Kog'Maw. And every single time, you know, enough people are getting through to Captain Jack before he can do enough damage. And that's making the difference every single time in these team fights. So Nocturne's going to pressure out the mid now. Wander down to Mundo, just harass him a little bit. Again, he's got his ultimate, so he can zip across this base very quickly if he needs to. Takes a cleaver to the back, but not too fast. Aurelia's actually farming right now. And Smallbread, he knows who he wants, and he wants Captain Jack. But I think he missed again. He's going to go in there,
though. They haven't got any turret damage yet, and now they're split. This is worrying for MVP.
Yeah.
They rightly back off.
Ult used there from Dandy as well, and they're lucky not to lose anybody there. That was a little bit awkward. Poor Smallbread, he wants to make the plays, but It seems like every single time the ult is not quite hitting Cogmore, despite being very, very close. But MVP, you know, they're in no real rush right now. They've still got 2 inhibitors down. They have control over basically the entire map. They can afford to, you know, kind of misfire, let their cooldowns come back up, and, you know, just take buffs and jungle while they're at it. Bide their time. They can't wait forever, but they've certainly got a big window here.
Yeah, they just don't. There's no need for them to take a bad engage. They realize very quickly, hey, we didn't do this right, and so they backed off. You know, it's not ideal, but they'll take it.
Yeah, it's more ideal than getting everybody killed and suddenly, you know, taking a game that you had a ton of momentum and such a lead in to something where, you know, you're letting them catch up. I mean, eventually, the late game, we think, will take over for AZB Blaze. It's up to MVP to close the game out before that happens, and not even just that, as they play this game, try and delay that still for as long as they possibly can. Because anything that
Vlad picked up a Guardian Angel here.
Oh,
now he's just even more annoying.
And that's almost 6 item Vlad. He's what? A Will of the Ancients away if that's what he wants to be his last item from having everything.
That's a Vlad. The Guardian Angel revives a lot like the Zhonya's. It almost like he has those 2 abilities that let him wait cooldowns for just even more pull action.
Yeah, and Mime has already been quite the force in a lot of these team fights. That GA is going to make it even harder. In fact, we've seen...
Look at his score, Pastry. 12-3-2. He hasn't been any assist Vlad, that's for sure.
No, he's secured all them kills. And you know, getting a bit of a Moscow 5 action here, actually, on the MVP side. We've got 3 GAs. And you know, when you have a team that's trying to dive a hyper carry, I think GA is a pretty good choice. And we are going to see Baron down here as well from MVP White.
Interesting to see Cho feast it. I mean, not sure if they had the ward coverage. No, they were completely safe, but... very safe play.
You could certainly see into a lot of the burst. I think they should have felt pretty comfortable there. Certainly, Feast is a nice little bit of burst damage on anyone. It's true damage. So even Mundo, you know, the tanky guy, if you need to get onto him, you can just execute people with that Feast. So I am a bit surprised as well, but you know, better safe than sorry, I guess, is the knowledge there for MVP. This inhibitor's going to go down pretty quickly. Feast will probably be back up. Wow, that's a short cooldown actually. Yeah, 6 seconds back. Maybe that's why. Got quite a bit of CDR.
The other inhibitor's coming up as well, and they're just going to come push it down.
Yep.
Pick up a red buff, maybe?
Probably. Sivia's pretty happy to have that one, so Imp's going to pick that up. Interestingly enough...
It's going to have to be some sort of incredible misplay by MVP, you have to think. With all these Guardian Angels, with the Baron buff, with the super minions. Wow, those roots are massive.
They are. But it's not enough to stop that inhibitor going down. And there we are, 2 inhibitors yet again. MVP do exactly what they did the first time they got Baron, after they get it for a second time. And you know, we use the phrase, it's their game to lose, a lot in these situations, and it really is at this point. If AZB Blaze can hold on here for this first game, it would be something miraculous, but MVP are really looking to nail out this first game here, and take a 1-0 advantage here in this best of 3. Get a step closer to going to IEM Singapore as well. I mean, it's not quite over yet, but it is certainly looking bad for AZB Blaze right now, and with the way MVP have played, you know, this game, it's no real surprise to me that they're ahead right now.
A lot of good stalling from AZB Blaze here. They will have to ostensibly do a bit of diving to take this turret.
But if we've seen anything from Hom lately, and Nocturne...
Nice wave clear too.
Yeah.
Something's got to give Pastry time.
I think Hom is going to get frustrated and dive in. Oh, taking a lot of damage though. Cogmore does do a lot of damage. In fact, oh my goodness, Captain Jack's items.
He's not worried about defenses.
He's going to kill everybody. That is...
You would think almost though that if you see that build he's undertaken, maybe it is dive time.
I mean, it has to be. Maybe Cogmore's like, they're gonna dive me anyway. What can I really do? I need to try and kill them as quickly as possible.
You're right, I hadn't even noticed, but double Phantom Dancer is some sort of expression of intent.
Yeah, I mean, with all these minions coming in, Captain Jack is actually... He's got almost 400 CS. He's just blasting these minions away, doing so much damage. I mean, Cho'Gath, before we saw Hom, we took a lot of damage there. Not what I expected to happen.
The Nocturne's going to be splitting off here, which is smart. He is able to reach most of the base if he's trying to auto-attack down this turret. Mundo trying to 1v1 him, I guess.
Yeah, Mundo going to come up. Let's clear a few of the minions out.
It's a good split, though. This is, you know, the Shen kind of standard of bottom top. That's the most ground that needs to be covered by the enemy.
Got to be careful. Smallbrand took a lot of damage there, and this Cogmore hurts so much for AZB Blaze. For MVP, I guess.
There's top turret.
Alright, there we go. So that's good. And now Dandy, he's going to try and find the dive. He wants Cog. He really does, but the damage here, Captain Jack doing a great job kiting. He's still free hitting, in fact, and Zyra, though, taking a lot of damage. But Captain Jack can keep going. Zyra will live. There's a great Zhonya's from Mima, though, as the GA goes down for Flame. And GA still up for Vlad. There it goes down now. But there's the third inhibitor.
Yeah, I mean,
it took a lot of resources and a lot of GS for MVP here. But it maybe, you know, they just kind of threw themselves at the structures and they went down eventually. I mean, Captain Jack is still doing absolutely ridiculous amounts of damage right now as Cogmore. But that's 3 inhibitors for MVP. I mean, Aurelia is going to try and come in here. Actually, no, it's going to take a lot of damage. And everyone from MVP is going to get out safely here.
Baron buff regen helping quite a few people there.
Yeah, a lot of regen. I think Hom's probably got...
So much effort to get an outer turret. You got to think it's going to be all that once more for these Nexus turrets here.
I mean, we can say that AZB Blaze certainly not giving up. Although there was...
Yeah, they could have put 2 hands up, you know, 10 minutes ago, ostensibly. It looked very unlikely they'd win, but showing a lot of character here. As I said, when the gold lead starts to lessen importance, like at the end of the day, it's still 15k, but these tanks are getting farmed. It becomes that much more difficult for MVP's comp to do what they want. It's hard to dive double Nexus inhib turrets.
Yes, it is. They do a lot of damage, and you have to kind of get them as well because they regenerate. So you really have to go all in at this point. And AZB Blaze is doing a very good job turtling here, which is all they really can do. But you know, they've recognized what their comp does, where they want to be in late game, and exactly what they need to win, despite being in a pretty bad position. I mean, 3 inhibs down, it's going to cause so much pressure. And MVP did go back and spend about 2,000 gold each after leaving the base there. So they are coming back even stronger in this one, but they're basically done in terms of item builds. If AZB Blaze can hold from here, then they might actually have a shot in this game. But here come MVP for what they want.
Very late game DFG pickup from Vladimir. He has no spell vamp.
Yeah, I mean he wants just the last of his damage. He does have Will the Ancient, so we will have some spell vamp. But yeah,
it is the nerf DFG to reiterate.
Yeah, just wants more damage. I mean, with a lot of late game AP, I think it even does a little bit better than the old one. If my thoughts about the way the numbers work out do work. Oh, never mind. Taking a lot of damage now. Maimar is going in. Good Hemo plague there, but the Wild Growth and backing towards the fountain now. Vladimir could be in a lot of trouble, and nice Sonya Zed from Maimar. And really,
they have not got any turret damage down there.
Just stalling. That tower there's taking a lot of damage. There's 1. There's going to be 2. I don't think it matters if they lose the team fight. They may just try and go all in here. Danny doing a nice bit of work there. Imp is taking a lot of damage and will go down. But there's a nice crescendo there from Sona to clear it up. Cogmore is going to go down here, I think, as well. In fact, yeah, he's dead. Okay, the prize procs. And the Sona tripled around it all off.
You were prophetic, Pacer. You knew all about that Sona damage. But at the end of the day, too much momentum. And MVP wide in a massive upset, take game 1 here.